Hi friends, it's Suzanne here from sunstampin.com. I'm a Canadian Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I want to welcome you to my weekly Wildcard Wednesday video on my blog and YouTube channel. The card designs I share today are a little more technique driven, but nothing too complicated. I also sell the products I feature in this video. I hope you enjoy my free video tutorial and would love to see you shop with me. For today's card, I'm featuring the Rooted in Nature stamp set. Now, across the globe, us demonstrators are having a competition who can sell the most of this stamp set. So with this card, I'm throwing my hat in the ring and hoping that if you would like to purchase this, that you would do so with me for this silly little competition. Besides that, I'm also going to go over some sponging techniques. Now, I've said this before, I love sponging. So I have my non-porous surface here. This is a grid mat that I've laminated. This is just plain Whisper White, and I'm using Daffodil Delight right now, or sorry, So Saffron. I find that the yellows are easiest to blend with, but that sponge was very saturated. It was extremely seasoned. So this is Rococo Rose. This is the new in color. And you can see that was a bare naked sponge. That sponge had nothing on it. So you can see the difference between the yellow seasoned sponge and my Rococo Rose, which did not have any ink on it. So and it's tough. It was tough to blend because my stamp isn't seasoned, and I made all these kind of weird little marks and stuff, but I wasn't worried because I know it takes elbow grease. Now I timed myself and I looked at this video and I went, well, how long did I sponge? So I sponged for 10 minutes. This is oh, and hey, check that out. That is Rich Razzleberry, and that sponge is seasoned. I don't even need to dip it into the ink pad to get it going. Anyway, okay, so, oh, and here's a little tip. If you have a Post-it note to hold down your paper with, it makes things so much easier, so you're not going to get your fingerprints on your page, which has ink on it, and the ink is not dried yet, right? So it's still sort of sitting on the top of the paper, and you can see I'm going back and forth through all of my colors, and even after I think I was done, here I come in with Night of Navy. So my colors were So Saffron, Rococo Rose, I won't say it funnily, but I'm probably going to say it funnily from now on, and Rich Razzleberry, and now this is Night of Navy, and at the bottom part I'm just going to put in some Smoky Slate, which is my favorite gray. And it's funny, when I actually picked up some of the ink off of my laminated grid mat here, and it became a blue gray, which I loved. So I was happy to do that. It was a happy little accident. So like I said before, it took me 10 minutes, 10 full minutes. So that's really sped up. I sped that up like quite a bit, but I did want to show you that it takes time. And if your sponges aren't seasoned, it will take, you a longer time to do the sponging. And then this is the silhouette. This is a StazOn ink on red rubber, so I know it's going to be beautifully detailed. And voila! So I squeezed a little bit of my Wink of Stella. This is Wink of Stella that has been refilled. So I use it like a paintbrush, or I use it like a splatter thing. And I thought what I would do is kind of make it look ethereal. And then because there was so many tiny splotches, there wasn't big splotches, I'm thinking it was almost like the twinkling of stars, to be honest. So here I'm testing it to see if it's dry, and it's not dry. So I just left it for a minute, went and got a drink, came back, and it was dry. So here is my my Versamark ink, and I did use my embossing buddy. I just rubbed it all over, and I did a test, and it was dry. So we're all good. So I'm inking up the sentiment to thank you for all you do, and the second one says words are never enough. And now I'm sprinkling on the white embossing powder, And now I have this little paintbrush and brushed all the little stray particles away. Heated it from behind because it's Whisper White thin. If it was a thick cardstock, I would have to do it from above. And someone asked me, how do I get rid of the embossing buddy? Here it is. I usually put that part out, cut it out, but because it looks funny. It looks like I'm rubbing my paper all funnily, but that's what I was doing, removing the embossing paste. Or sorry, embossing powder. Okay, so I have some stitch rectangles, and largest ones, I put 2 together and made a frame. I put my favorite adhesive on the back of my focal piece here, and this is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm adhering that to my card base. Now with my wet glue, which, you know, I don't like using wet glue because I get sticky. But I was very careful this time, and I just put a thin line, and then I carefully put the little frame down. And the thing is that you would see any irregularity, so I had to make sure that this was in perfect position. And then just gently ease that frame down so it didn't shift on me, because you know wet glue, it does that. And folded it, used my bone folder on the back side, and the little remaining bit I trimmed off. But that is my card for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope you had fun. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now. Hey, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. On screen are 2 more videos for inspiration. Click on the maple leaf for my blog, or click on me to subscribe to my channel. Thanks again for watching.